Hello, friends, and welcome to the show. Welcome to the podcast Faim de Séance, which is a wordplay in French about hunger and movies and hence the popcorn. You know what? Whatever. Forget about it. I'm your host, Arezki, and with me, a couple of friends will drop by to review with me movies that we just watched, and we'll discuss it at length and, probably say a lot of bullshit while we try to get a grip of the movie. So usually this podcast is in French, but a good decision was made. Like all great decisions, it was made drunk. That every 4 or 5 episodes we'll do that in English, and that will be cool, I guess. That's my hope for that. So the first English-spoken episode will be about The Brothers Grimsby, a movie directed by Leterrier. It was released in April 2016 with Sacha Baron Cohen. You might know him as Borat or Bruno. And Mark Strong, who is more accustomed to serious movies. And in this movie, he's hiding in elephants' vaginas. Yes, you heard me right. It's completely bonkers. With me, Jean-Yves, an English teacher, was there to help me review that movie. Enough chit-chat. I am going to let you enjoy that episode. So that's like a serious director, right?
Yeah.
It's, Danny the Dog, I think. Taken?
Yeah.
Hulk, the Incredible Hulk with Norden. So that's a serious director, and the movie is totally fucked up.
Yeah, the Brother Grimsby one. Yeah. It is supposed to be like a mainstream super production movie starring the hilarious Sacha Baron Cohen with co-starring Mark Strong.
Ian McShane, Isla Fischer, so there's a lot of names, pretty well known there. And that's the interesting thing to say, because there's serious actors too, and they do have a lot of humor.
Yeah.
Because, having your balls sucked by Sacha Baron Cohen.
And literally closed up on the balls.
On the balls.
There is
on his face.
There is a close up on the balls, the wrinkly balls from Mark Strong.
So
really,
the movie. Two brothers separated in childhood after the death of their parents. All right. The classic story, as we all know it. One just was brought up in a shitty neighborhood in England, and the other one we kind of figure out is brought up in London and becomes this great spy for the MI6. And after, by chance, they reunite, and then the shitty brother just fucks everything in the spy's life.
Yeah, it's I don't remember how they reconnect. I think
it's supposed to be a friend of Nobby. No,
is it during this fundraiser at the beginning of the film, the one with Penelope Cruz?
No, it's supposed to be a friend of Nobby's who's
Nobby,
who has a friend who saw Cody. And then tells him you gotta go there because he's going to be at this event. So he nicks a ticket to go there.
He nicked it.
And then he goes there. So that's pretty much not really thought of. But it's a shitty comedy. So it's
so
okay.
Is it like a spy comedy?
The one with Jackie Chan and Owen Wilson.
Over the top, really too much of a action film. It is an action film.
It's an action film. It's actually
action comedy
with great action scenes. I thought with like first person shooters point of view sometimes, and the action is really good. the comedy is usually like mainstream, okay, and then sometimes, and that's I guess the whole point. That's the whole point of the movie. Sometimes the comedy just goes bonkers. There's like that scene where he gets stung by this needle of toxin in his balls, and then he asks his brother to suck it.
Suck it off the It's really gross. I mean, it doesn't quite start like that. It starts with a wound on the neck, I think.
Yeah, on the shoulder.
And then he says, "I've been it somewhere else," and he realizes that he's going to have to suck it off his balls, which is really gross. He goes crazy because they change position and he goes on top for some reason. And then he's like fucking him upside down. Yeah, he's fucking him upside down merely. It's really, and then it's teabagging him. They like record some footage of this guy being fucked by his brothers. I can say it's really...
that's the structure of the whole scenes where it's over the top. Every time it's like it's already a lot, like sucking somebody, and then they add something after that. It's like when they hide in the elephant's uterus, and then while they hide, they get fucked by another elephant, which they help to actually jerk off. So one of the brothers just find himself, covered with cum.
Yeah. Again, because at some point in the movie, the two spies, they are running away and they are going to hide to South Africa. So they're like safari mood. There's a safari mood. Park. And they apparently saw this documentary when they learned that an elephant's uterus dilated like from a huge amount.
It's supposed to be the continents of 700 liters or something like that.
Because these elephants come a lot.
and then when you see that scene, so okay, they help an elephant jerk off in the vagina of the female elephant where they are. So you're thinking, okay, that's already too much. Yeah. They're not going to go further than that. And then you realize it's about to be elephant gangbang just right after. And then there's a line.
I think this is really hard to picture, but we really need to try to see two people inside an elephant,
a real elephant, by the way.
Inside an elephant's uterus and being fucked by a giant elephant's cock, which is like going back and forth and hitting their heads, which obviously is going to end into a giant cream pie.
A sperm fest.
Which is literally a gross a gross sperm fest.
And just when you think it's over, then another elephant comes. Yeah. And comes.
And as it weren't enough, Sacha Baron Cohen, he turns and he goes on all fours to get cum all over his bottom. And it's supposedly he gets fucked by the elephant's cock.
You've guessed it. That's not subtle. That's not elegant humor. That's not Hugh Grant humor here. But you know what? Fuck, it's funny.
Yeah, it's. I mean, we really get the impression that as Sacha Baron Cohen, he co-wrote, he produced, yeah. So we have the sentiment that he got an enormous amount of liberty during this thing, so which can explain the incredible outbursts of crass humor, which is really crass. I mean, when you
that's pretty English too, though. Yeah, because if you compare that to a plain American movie, usually English ones are like a little more. Yeah, they do a little more than that.
Well, what we really need to, what I really like as well with the because I don't think the film works as a whole. I think it has some consequent flaws. I'm thinking about the flashbacks, which are not very. They don't work with very well.
Yeah, they kind of screw the rhythm of the movie.
This is typical Leterrier stuff. I mean, this is like
you know what?
Moments of emotions.
He does do some flashbacks because in Taken there was some flashback. In the Hulk there were some flashbacks too.
You really like these
that's
melancholic flashbacks.
You know, there are two things that are not really good in the movie. It's like flashbacks and voiceover. You know, a voiceover that explains to you what the fuck is going on. Your movie isn't good enough then.
I'm not that much of a fan of the AIDS jokes. I mean, it's not because at the start, it's like this big fundraiser where Penelope Cruz is supposed to play this philanthropist trying to cure the word poverty or something. And there is this there's this cripple guy, this cripple young Palestinian / Jewish guy, and he has AIDS.
His mother was Jewish, and his father was a Palestinian, but they loved each other.
And the thing
he's on a wheelchair.
And this is when the reunion occurs, as Mark Strong, who's this bulky super spy and sniping at a supposedly killer, gets hugged from behind by his brother Nobbe. So he misses his shot and he hits the AIDS kid, and then there is this burst of blood in the air, and the blood goes into
Daniel Radcliffe's mouth. Who's actually not played by Daniel Radcliffe, so that's
by some
funnier.
cheap lookalike.
Yeah, exactly, like a really cheap, like CGTEL.
And which led to a quite a nice joke, because the nice joke is that Mark Strong says that you managed to do in 30 seconds what Voldemort couldn't do in 8 movies. It's quite good.
There are good like stand-up jokes in this movie, but I do recognize the fact that I don't know how long it was, probably like an hour 40. You know what? If it was an hour 20, perhaps, without the flashbacks or better things, it would have been like really better.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, you just take off these nasty flashbacks, and I think it gets a lot better. I think, because it's not, because what they could have done, they really could have done some jokes, like some sort of jokes about the flashback itself, but it looks to me it's really sincere. It's like this, it's a flashback, it's supposed to draw your tear, and it's really nice.
I don't know,
Nobbe, don't leave me, Nobbe. And he's calling out for his brother.
They will never separate us.
We're the Grimsby brothers.
No, but seriously, it's still funny though.
Yeah,
it's like really. What kind of movie does it look like? I don't know.
It's not, because it makes me think this sort of package, the spy movie, makes me think of Kingsman. But Kingsman is not as funny, because there's not this.
Yeah, that's like
this crass humor,
more like a real movie. Too. So
the humor is more subtle.
Plus, it's a comics, no? Kingsman.
Yeah,
I think it's a comic.
It's made out of a comic book.
Yeah. But no, this movie is like really like bananas. Is completely
bananas,
bonkers, with scenes that are going to be thrown in the garbage by like 98% of the producers. It's not supposed to come in the movie theaters, but he managed to do it, and that's actually where it's funny.
It should be interesting to know how much. How good did the movie do? Well, how much money they grossed. I don't know if that worked well in the US.
I think it's pretty. Know in nine gag, it's pretty well known.
Really, must have been a real hit that north in Manchester where the scum is because there is this big worker class environment which is such a caricature. I mean, they go. When they walk into a pub, people are like naked. They are throwing beer everywhere. It's a mess. It's like this picture, not trying to get a picture of people getting drunk on welfare. There's this joke because he has like 11 kids or something.
Yeah,
and he has this kid who's called Luki because he's supposed to have leukemia. But it's not true because he says that he's just doing it to get the welfare. So it's.
So I'm reading it right here. Okay, I'm trying to look at the budget because I have the gross, the worldwide gross of the movie. As it's actually, by the way, 1 hour 20.
20.
Yeah, 1 hour 23. So that's not very long.
It feels longer.
Yeah.
It feels longer.
Worldwide, all right, $25 million. So
which is not much.
Well, not much, I guess, for a big blockbuster. But I don't know how much it costs to produce, though. The thing is, that kind of movies will absolutely make a lot of money on DVD. That's sure. I'm sure of it.
What about VOD?
Yeah, VOD, DVD. Yeah. This movie will be watched a lot, and it will not become a cult.
Look at the
classic or whatever. But
during which we watch. We watched the film like 11 p.m. eating some burgers. It's typically the exactly. kind of film you need when you're hanging out with friends and you have some food.
When you're with dudes drinking beers.
You really
and
need
you just ran out of Michael Bay's movies. You just pop a comedy like that, and well, you know what? It's we laughed. That's the only thing that matters, I guess.
I don't think I'd have laughed that much on my own. This is really a question of who you're watching it with. I think it's a dude movie.
Yeah, it's a group thing.
Yeah, it's a group thing.
It's like sometimes there are horror movies that you need to watch with a lot of people next to you in the cinema, or it's a bit like Piranha's 3D.
Yeah, really,
so you need to be like a lot of friends to make fun of the movie with the movie.
Yeah.
So how many miams? How many yums?
I'm between a 2 and a 2.5 because had there not been these crass, really hilarious jokes, I would be probably at a 1.5.
Yeah.
So I think I'll go with a 2.5.
Okay. Well, for me, it will be a 2, or like a solid 2, and that's all. Well, it's the whole point of this movie, putting crass, gross jokes in the middle of mainstream comedy.
Yeah.
And he actually tackled this the right way because those mainstream comedies now, there are a lot of them. We don't want especially to watch them all, and this one definitely sticks out because it has. Well, it goes where the other don't go, and it's rated R. So
I was wondering, would you qualify these jokes as typical Sacha Baron Cohen's jokes? I don't think so. I don't think he goes into.
Yeah, he's like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Where I can't
in
recall.
Ali G.
Oh,
Ali G,
yeah,
the house, he was definitely like
but it's not that graphic. It's only suggested.
Well, I'm pretty sure there's some balls.
Yeah, but what about the films? There. I'm thinking Borat. I'm thinking Bruno. I'm thinking
Bruno. You see a dick doing the helicopter. So. So yeah, that's typically
Right.
his humor. Yeah,
Okay.
it goes all over the place.
And the style, ladies and gents. I mean, when you've got this dude dressing like this working class football fan, wearing the same nasty, gross England shirt the whole movie with ketchup stains all over it,
and their bodies, their belly full of
and
beers.
he's wearing these like flip flops with socks, which is really
the German way.
And he really has trouble walking around with them, which is really funny. He always goes like this.
Yeah, pretty good production design, I guess, because it really serves the comedy in here.
Well, what saves the day is really Leterrier handling well the action scenes, because if you get someone who's quite new at that and you get like bad action scenes, this could go somewhere else, and this is not as nice.
Pretty interesting though. I really find
good overall moment among friends, good laughs, so quite a nice moment to enjoy. So we recommend this movie among friends. Not by yourself in the train, which is quite boring, quite sad.
Plus, the people behind you will see that you see someone sucking some balls.
So and you laughing about it.
Yeah, so you might look like somebody who's fucking weird.
The only problem is that you might say "no pay" a lot after saying this.
We know we are definitely going to say this word for a long time now.
Yes.
So, 2 yums and a half, so that's 2.25. Well, yeah, you know, try it. It's only an hour and 20, so it's okay. Well,
all right.
Thank you.
So, liars, nobby.
Toodles.
Cheerio.